He did not in any way attack the artist. He didn't say, if you fuck with Pink Friday, this isn't for you. If you fuck with any part like this, he said one song, one piece of her catalog.
I see some people out here waiting to sting Starships. I see y'all. We ain't talking about y'all right now. Fuck that bullshit. I want to talk to the hip hop fans. Now, if we can all admit that Starships isn't a real hip hop song, then we're good money.
It wasn't really that disrespectful. He said, I know a lot of girls want to hear sing Starships, but fuck that. We're not in that bullshit right now. I'm repping for the people who want to see Kendrick Lamar. If that makes you not do the biggest show in hip hop, something is seriously wrong with that regime.
You missed the New York date for rap.
Being a New York artist, you missed this date specifically. Your chance to, I mean, for all intents and purposes, headline. I mean, Ebro says there is no
How many women have headlined Summer Jam?
I'm streaming this show from my website. I'm selling tickets from my website. I'm promoting it everywhere else I go. I'm allowing you to use my image so that you can make sales. And right while my fans are watching on my site, not on Hot97.com, on NickiMinaj.com, you're disrespecting me.
The reason why I think he goes so hard against that one song is because he holds her to such a standard, because he knows what she's capable of doing. So when he sees her going the pop route, which I think is like the elephant in the room that everybody like forgets to talk about, the fact that not too many hip hop lovers really dig Starships.
He's not on Z100.
Exactly.
He's on Hot97. He's not supposed to like Starships.
This isn't Z100 Summer Jam. He
likes shitting on him. He said that he likes all these other records. He likes her fucking, he loves fucking Nicki. He said this in defense of his argument.
Knowing like Peter Rosenberg and what he does, he's more of an underground guy, and if you go to underground shows, they kind of rile up people like for certain acts. And if what he was doing at the festival stage was he was getting the fans ready for, you know, the real rappers of the night, Schoolboy Q, A$AP Rocky, Kendrick Lamar, who are like this new breed of rappers who are actually rapping with true substance. So what he usually does as a host of an underground show, you kind of rile them up and you tell them like, no, we don't want any of that bullshit, we want that real shit. And that's all it was. It wasn't that he disrespected her personally, he disrespected her as a woman or anything like that. He just merely stated that her song was bullshit.
Rosenberg was not wrong for expressing his opinion. That's his opinion. That's his prerogative.
When he stated it. He
poor
stated
timing.
It at the wrong time. Right.
Poor timing. Poor timing, poor venue.
I honestly don't think what Rosenberg did was that bad. Like, it was the pre-show. I'm sorry, Nicki Minaj, but 40 million or 20 million people was not watching that pre-show. No one really cared about the pre-show. And it was the pre-show. I feel like Allen Iverson, like practice, pre-show, really? The pre-show? We talking about the pre-show. We talking about something that happened on the pre-show. The pre-show? Really? The pre-show. You didn't do Hot97 Summer Jam for something that happened on the pre-show.
If you're gonna stand up and say, well, I'm standing up for women, I'm not gonna be disrespected as a woman, well then you have to make decisions as a woman, your own decisions. Exactly. No one, a man or woman, should not be able to tell you we're not doing this show, and you just say, hey, he's the boss, I'm out.
Nicki tried to take a stance on feminism. Meanwhile, she kind of got curbed by her boss, who was a male, to not perform. So that was just very interesting for me. Like, you can play the loyalty factor, but if you're gonna play the loyalty factor and your boss happens to be a male, you can't use the whole, you know, the feminist code, like, or the card at all.
If she did think that it was a female issue, step up as a champion of women and do the show. Right, and show that no man can keep you from, like, if it's going to be that, then make it about that. Burn your bra on stage, like, you know, like, go all the way the fuck out.
Perform Starships first,
right? Like, just lead with Starships, and as you leave the stage, say, fuck Rosenberg. Yeah. How many statements have been made on the Summer Jam stage?
This is rap music, and when it's rap music, what you need to do if someone disses you is diss them the fuck back. You don't run and hide, you don't get emotional. Like, I get it. Rosenberg so-called disrespected you.
If you really wanted to prove him wrong, you would have got up on that stage and just killed it. And, you know, like, on the microphone, just tell him what it is. Like, yo, Peter Rosenberg, fuck you. And, you know, the crowd would have roared, you dropped your mic, you killed it, and that would have been the headline instead of Nicki sharing a headline the next day with Peter Rosenberg instead of it just being all about Nicki Minaj.
Person who has managed her life into stardom decided that it was not a good look for her to step on that stage. Had that been me, I would have done the same thing, because he's the guy who believed in me before. I mean, I'm sure Nicki Minaj tried to get records played on Hot 97 before Wayne, and no one cared. So when Wayne started caring, everyone else cared. So now that Wayne doesn't care for me to get on the stage, I'm not gonna care either.
I'm a Wayne fan. I'm borderline a Wayne stan. You know what I mean? So like, for Wayne to make that call and pull Nicki, it hurt my feelings a little bit, especially coming after that weak diss from Pusha T.
There are issues at play. Don't make it about the issues that it's not about.
Right. Like,
and gender and race are definitely, like, it's hip hop as is way too polarizing. There's no need to make it more, actually really belittling the argument, because there's an excellent argument here. But we're tearing it down by making it about race
Petty
and
shit.
or gender.
Yeah, you're aiming for
the
petty
simple
shit that's not even relevant.
All the lines that should be blurred aren't, and I think that's unfortunate, because what we have at the core of this is we have Nicki's take on what is hip hop. Hip hop is expression. So to play her side, Starships is hip hop. It's her doing what she does. It's her doing Love Below. You can't take anything away from that. It's music. It's music as a hip hop artist understands it.
And all this boils down to what's real hip hop? What is real hip hop? Hip hop is everything. Hip hop is like love. If you ask a million people what love is, they're gonna give you a million different answers. If you ask a million people what hip hop is, you're gonna get a million different answers. There's no definition to what's real hip hop. It's one guy's opinion, and you let him run you off a Summer Jam.
And you have Rosenberg, a hip hop, a cultural enthusiast, an authority on the culture, sharing his thoughts on it. Don't take it away from that. The second you make it about a black woman versus a white man, and you turn it into what it's not and whose culture it isn't, it gets just unnecessarily muddy.
What's your take on the flex thing, though?
I respect taking up arms.
Which he did.
I respect that 100%.
Down the gauntlet early. He rep for the team, so can't be mad
I also
at that.
respect standing your ground.
That's another thing.
I was hoping for Flex to come on and really ether a career, cause at Summer Jam when he was like, "Yo, tune in while I ruin a career tomorrow," I was looking forward to that, and he didn't. He copped out, copped the pleas, and I was disappointed. Maybe because I want beef. I'm sorry that I want beef, but I wanted to hear something more.
Rosenberg and Nicki have they've stood strong the entire time.
So is Ebro.
And yes, Ebro has as well.
Flex. No. You're gonna let it simmer.
It sounded like an argument I had with an ex-girlfriend. You know, with an ex-girlfriend, after you break up with them and you wait after a few days, you know, like to call them and stuff like that, and you want to salvage things, but you still have so much tension and so much heat, and you have one side telling you that you need to calm down because you're so wild, and then you're that one guy who you think you're not like talking over or raising your voice, but you actually are when you look back, if you record the conversation or whatever. I don't even know who records phone conversations or whatever.
Flex show during the flex hour, and you're telling me to be quiet on my show and telling me to let it simmer and all that.
Why are you on the phone with Flex? Flex is a symptom of what?
It became too personal.
Yeah,
It became too much about them, and I almost felt like they were having a breakup talk.
Yeah, it's like you specifically.
Right.
I have a problem with you, not the whole.
Right. She
forget
got into
everything
an
else.
argument with the new guy, and it's not gender, this is just the metaphor. But she got into an argument with the new guy, and an old boyfriend who happened to work in the same building is calling her to confront her about the new argument.
Right.
But about the argument with the new dude, but making it about him.
I kind of feel like it was a waste of time. Like, it didn't accomplish anything. It didn't solve anything. Nicki still didn't do the show.
They were arguing both sides with the same argument. She was talking about expanding outside of the market and staying like her growth and expanding outside of the market as a signpost of her growth, and which was the only place where it's really differentiated, because they were talking about her needing New York for that growth, and she was talking about staying loyal to her team and not doing it. They were talking about staying loyal to their team and
doing it,
arguing her doing it, like why she should have been there.
I'll give Flex one thing. One thing he said that I think was the absolute truth. Everybody's ego got involved and got out of control.
Absolutely.
I think he hit the nail on the head.
From the outside looking in, it's so easy to see because you're allowed to impart logic into it. And if it were an argument of logic, I feel like that phone conversation would have been 10 minutes.
Right.
If that. But because it's an argument of emotion
And ego.
Right. It's dragged on so much longer.
much like this debate has.
Somebody won out of this. That's all I'm gonna say. Somebody won. Shout out to Peter Rosenberg.